I remember the exact moment she lost her mind. It was a Tuesday in October. I was showing my buddies a stupid TikTok of an AI cat in a tutu when she landed at our table. It's 2 Sigma at her purring. We all looked up to see Sophia Bendetti of calculus with a crooked smile that gave me chills. This girl had been watching me for weeks, always at a distance, not looking at me, but I could feel her gaze on me. "Thank you," I said and picked up my phone. His face is decomposed. Maybe she was hoping for more, but I had an influencer girlfriend and everyone on TikTok knew it. Sophia hovered for an awkward 30 seconds before slipping away. Shortly afterwards, she arrived in advanced trigger with a pink tutu over her jeans. Her theatrical makeup and twisted eyeliner made her look like a deranged doll. She was in the front row, making strange gestures as if dancing to an invisible melody. "Is she cracking up or what?" Lucas whispered. I shrugged, but every time our eyes met, she smiled at me. It was before lunch. I saw Sophia whirling in the halls, a cappuccino balanced on her head. "Cappuccino is here to tear it all apart." "No kidding," she giggled, attracting everyone's attention. She sipped while spinning without ever spilling anything. The weirder she became, the more attention was paid to her. Students filmed her everywhere, posting videos titled "Star Energy," but their laughter sounded fake. Everyone felt that something was wrong with her. I was avoiding the hallway to avoid passing her, but as I turned, I saw her waiting for me on the corner. She walked over and handed me a cookie and said, "You're the dopamine I'm addicted to. Looking forward to going viral with you." I was sick of this crap. I threw the cookie on the floor and yelled, "Sophia, stop it. I have a girlfriend." Everyone froze and stared at us. I could hear Sophia's girls giggling. I thought she'd leave, but she just tilted her head and asked, "Stop, what's this Miss Ballerina delusion? Cappuccino, have you become the laughingstock of everyone, Sophia? People make fun of you." Her smile froze. I twitched when her eyes betrayed her pain, but she quickly regained her composure. "Laughter, whatever, as long as I amused you, you know it's not." Sophia staggered, hesitating between screaming and crying, but did nothing. She just turned around and left. The next 2 classes were a nightmare. My phone was constantly buzzing with his messages. The notifications continued unabated. "You hurt me, I'll prove my love to you." I blocked it, thinking I'd get rid of it. I was ready to go see the director. I even skipped lunch at the cafeteria and ate at the library. I kept hoping I wouldn't see her. I just wanted the day to be over so I could go home and talk to my girlfriend. Suddenly, Lucas ran into the library. He looked worried. "Marco, it's Sophia. She's on the cafeteria table. You gotta come, man." The blood in my veins froze. "What do you mean on a table?" "Come." I ran down the corridors, heart pounding. Screams and chairs scraping the floor filled the air before I could even reach the cafeteria. Sophia stood on the center table, still wearing her tutu, spinning faster than humanly possible. His phone was strapped to his wrist. Some nightcore remixes exploded at ear-splitting volumes. The students were leaning against the wall, phones off, but their faces were painted with horror. She held a steaming cup of coffee in her right hand. "Attention, Sims and Sigma. The cappuccino ballerina is about to give the performance of her life." His eyes meet mine and cling to them. "It's all for you, Marco. Everything for you." My instincts screamed danger, but I was paralyzed. Before we know it, she rips off the lid and pours all the coffee over her skull. The scream that comes out of his throat is not human. The coffee is boiling. His head is smoking like fire. But she continues, even if her scalp blisters. I'm always a joke, Markov. She laughs. Blood and coffee drips down his always stupid face. The students flee screaming, but I remain frozen as they empty themselves on top of me. His skin comes off in shreds, revealing the living flesh beneath. Then she starts spinning around in this awful state. The teachers intervene but are also terrified seeing Sophia. No one believed that a bloodied and burned girl could turn so fast. She collapsed to the ground, eyes open, still staring at me. I couldn't look away either. His face was unrecognizable. But she was still smiling at me, whispering in a hoarse voice, "Now you will remember me. You will remember me forever." Then she stopped. She is said to have survived and was briefly interned in an asylum. I couldn't know. I left for college before it came out, changed my number and deleted all my social networks, but sometimes at night, I can still hear his laughter in my head. And worst of all, she was right. I remember her. Every day, every cappuccino, music or pirouettes brings me back to the cafeteria. Seeing Sophia destroying herself for me, I should have listened to Maya, my roommate, who had warned me not to go home alone after evening classes. She was obsessed with her disappearances on campus. 3 girls in 6 months, all after psych classes at night. The university had covered it up. But students like Maya had their sources, and here I am at 9:47 p.m., broke and without battery, on the same road where Sarah, Monica, and Ashley were last seen. Professor Scott's class was delayed again, and I had to stay and help him with the next day's grades. Walking through the deserted streets, the cold of November pierced me like blades. The old oaks behind the building formed a wall of darkness. The forest stretched for miles, dense enough to hide everything. Suddenly I heard footsteps behind me. They were slow, deliberate, and mimicked my rhythm. I turned around and saw a tall guy in a crumpled suit 20 feet behind me. He smiled silly, as if he had won the lottery. Even in the dim light, his face seemed completely distorted. Laughs God never loses, and he whistled just loud enough for me to hear him. My blood ran cold in my veins. I had the impression that the wind had picked up. I accelerated my pace. It traced its rhythm to mine, perfectly. Turning around, I saw his phone pointed at me, camera on, blue glow lighting up his beard. He was older and creepier than I thought he was, in his 30s, dead-eyed. "You're my baby." At it launched. "Don't resist, just do a duet with me." I've seen this before. Maya had shown me TikToks of girls being followed and filmed without their consent. Without waiting, I reached for my phone and groaned as I remembered that he was dead. I panicked when I realized how isolated we were. The woods stretched to the right of the empty buildings to the left, and at least 4 blocks separated me from any human presence. "Come on, don't be picky." He clicked his tongue, his voice louder now. "Jenberg thinks he's too good for us, huh?" My heart stopped for a moment before racing. "And at least say hello to my fuddies," he chuckled. "You're going to be all over the viral net like the others. The others were talking about missing girls." I ran into the woods hoping to distract him. I thought about turning back to campus, but the trees seemed to close in, engulfing me in brave darkness and chasing me like a predator in the shadows. I struggled not to collapse, forced myself to stay clear. looking for a way out. Then I thought about Maya showing me an emergency feature on our student app. Even with a dead cell phone, the panic button would alert security where I was. I took out my phone, praying for enough battery. The screen flashed to emergency. Then I turned to him, screamed, called campus security. They know I'm here. El Rize. Bad player, did he growl. I winced at the click of a blade in the rustling trees. I'm going to do something special for my followers. The knife, small but sharp, had dark spots. Without hesitation, he pressed him against his arm and carved an L into his skin. The blood flowed, but he kept smiling. He licked the blood and said, "See my devotion. Others didn't appreciate it, but you, I think so." I started running again, knowing that if he caught me, it would be the end for me. He kept yelling at me to stop and posed for these followers, but all I saw was an endless forest. No matter the direction, God takes what he wants. And he cried. There was only darkness and the sound of his footsteps approaching. My lungs were burning and my legs were suddenly cotton. I saw blue and red flashing lights through the trees. A siren was growing louder. No, 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 he was screaming behind me. We were arriving at the best time. I tripped. When 2 police cars arrived, the officers, weapons in hand, swept the darkness with their lamp. Jennifer Morrison, one called campus security, got your alert. I collapsed, sobbing with relief. They caught him 20 feet behind me, bloody knife in hand, still smiling. While he was handcuffing him, I heard an officer talking on the radio. We got him. The TikTok killer, Marcus Webb. Later at the station, they showed me his phone. There were hours of videos of girls alone, terrified and begging to be spared. He ran a sick forum on the dark web where he shared the last moments of his victims. He had hundreds of thousands of subscribers. People would watch one, bet money on it, and profit from it. Agent Williams said he was tracking him in several states. I had to be victim number 7. They found the bodies 2 days later, buried in these woods, shallow grave marked with wooden piers. The trial was a real circus. His lawyers pleaded art and insanity, but the evidence was overwhelming. Hours of video showing him stalking women, his audience cheering him on. He got life without parole. His TikTok has been banned, but the videos are still circulating in the dark corners of the internet. I don't go out alone anymore, ever, and I constantly check my phone battery. I think of those followers, those thousands who saw girls torturing and typing W in the comments. They are always there waiting for the next patient to continue this morbid trend. I moved to Milan 3 months ago for a tech job. Life was beautiful, better than beautiful in fact. I was addicted to the same Italians and weird stuff from the net. Leaving here was dopamine cabbage, I promise, but at 23, alone abroad, it quickly becomes lonely. I didn't have many friends yet. On weekends I stayed under my duvet scrolling Instagram. That's when Lucy de la Conta approached me with a cage. She had a big smile, a little too excited. You said you wanted company. I found a perfect companion for you. She chuckled. When I opened it, I saw a cat with a David badge around his neck. David was not like other cats. Hairless, skin almost transparent in the light, eyes popped out as if ready to explode, legs and arms too long for his body. He was bigger than most cats. He's different, I said, staring intently at the strange creature. Oh, isn't he special? Lucy Clusa. As soon as she left, the cat stared at me and murmured, "Kiat, kiat." and I burst out laughing. It was the height of madness that became reality. I filmed it, dubbing it the Kid Cake. Within hours, the video exploded. 500,000 views, thousands of comments, all crazy about this cat, even Italian weird. I had found the internet gold back. The cat was acting strangely. He scratched at my door, meow, with abnormally long claws, meow, repeating "guy out" in various tones, sometimes high, sometimes so serious that they seemed to come from elsewhere. When I shouted to stop, he stopped. He stood up and stared at me with his bulging eyes without even blinking. He stared and stared and stared again. Ignoring all this, I fed David and had dinner around midnight. Lying in bed, I was reading the comments for my last video when I heard a call from the show. "Come here for a second." My mouth went dry and my heart raced. I live alone in a 2-story house. As I entered the living room, I found David in the center of the room. He was standing in his tubes again, and this time he was smiling, a frozen, frightening, psychopathic smile. When he spoke again, my soul left my body. "You think about your life choices, don't you?" Margot, the creature, approached, baring its teeth. "You shouldn't have let me in." I ran into my room screaming. I slammed the door right before the cat or whatever jumped on me. In a panic, my phone flew out the window, falling into the alley below. For 8 hours, I begged all the gods to keep me alive. David didn't stop, throwing furniture against the walls and pounding on my door. But the worst thing wasn't the noise. It was the mocking voices oozing from the wood like poison. "Come out and play," Margot was whispering, he imitating my voice. "Don't you want to make another video?" Around 03 hunt trial, the banging became so violent that I feared he would break down the door. I curled up in my closet trying to convince myself it wasn't real. The fever set in by dawn. I trembled deafened by shrill meows and demonic growls. It took forever. Then suddenly, everything stopped. I couldn't hear anything. I finally found the courage to open the door out of my room. The apartment looked like a crime scene. Overturned furniture, broken dishes, deep scratches. Everywhere in the living room was a crumpled pile that looked like empty skin, blood, and a foul-smelling liquid. Blood everywhere, as if a body had been dragged to David and me. Well, he was gone. My phone was intact on the counter despite the chaos. A new video in my camera recorded at 4:17 a.m. The picture showed my living room. David was there, but he was no longer David. His skin hung like an oversized coat, and underneath, my God, impossible to describe what. There was a thing with too much articulation, twisted fingers, a changing face. The thing, having left David's skin, stared at the camera when it spoke. It still used my voice gauge. Shit, that old body. Time to find a new one. Thank you for the subscribers that said they will love the sequel. unusual. The video ended with the sound of my door opening and closing. I haven't posted anything since. When I see a viral video or the same snapshot, I wonder if it's natural or if we're exploiting our obsessions. Skinwalkers evolve and interact through our screens. David, possibly still in Milan, now bears a new face and voice. Late at night as I scroll, certain comments chill me. Thousands liking phrases like "just right." It's hard not to wonder what's behind them.